Hi, welcome to our July monthly budget tips video. Every month I like to put out a video that helps you to prepare for your monthly budget.
Hi, I'm Megan with Bethel Budgets. I'm here because it's more than just math. At some point, you've probably built a budget. You've laid out your income, you've laid out your expenses, and thought it's simple math. I'll just stick to what's on the paper. But then life happened and your budget didn't work out. The reason? Because it's more than just math. That's where I come in. Let's figure this out together. Don't give up. You've got this.
Before you do your monthly budget, there are 3 things that you should look at every time. One is just a basic routine step that you should do every single time. The second thing are things that are specific to this month that I'd like you to look out for. And the third thing that I'll talk about are things that are coming up in future months and what you can do now to prepare for those. The first thing I want you to look at is this basic routine step to your budget. Before you build your budget every single month, I want you to do what I call a calendar check. You need to look at your calendar and look for special events or birthdays or anniversaries, anything on your calendar that is going to cost you money. Are you going out to eat with friends? Are you having any special trips? Are you having any special events? What is in your calendar this month that is going to cost you money? And then you need to budget accordingly for this month. Those items need to go in your monthly budget. They should go in some category line item, and you need to increase that amount, or you need to create a category line item, something for that, so that you're planning ahead and you have those expenses covered and you're not going over budget in some other category. The second thing I like you to look at whenever you're building your monthly budget are things that are specific to that month. So we're working on July monthly budget right now. And one of the things that happens in July is Independence Day. Independence Day is absolutely something that you should budget for. Are you somebody that goes to fairs? Are you somebody that hosts a barbecue or goes to a barbecue? Are you somebody that buys fireworks? How are you paying for these things? You need to think about that and you need to plan accordingly. You need to have a holiday line item, or you need to include extra in your grocery budget. You need to maybe have a fireworks sinking fund depending on how much you spend on fireworks. Also, you can plan ahead for the fireworks. Our family, we do a July 5th celebration. So we wait until the day after the 4th of July, and then we go and buy all the clearance fireworks, and then we do it that way. So how are you planning on spending your 4th of July, and how are you budgeting for that? Other things that may be specific to July, it is the biggest vacation month of the year. I know I'm going on vacation, so I have a vacation sinking fund that I do. And in that sinking fund is included all the gas and extra groceries and extra dining out that we would have to account for. Now, if you don't have that sinking fund, you need to up your dining out. You need to up your gasoline category. You may need to put more money in certain categories depending on where you're going and what you have planned for vacation. Also, vacations really should be sinking funds. You should plan accordingly and create sinking funds for next year's vacation. So you're putting a little bit of money aside every month for that vacation for next year, because it is really hard to go on vacation out of one single monthly budget, because vacations are expensive and that's going to hit hard in your monthly budget. But July is the number 1 month for vacations, so make sure that you're including that in your budget somehow, whether it is upping those categories or you have a sinking fund or you're making a sinking fund for next year. Another thing to think about with your July budget are back to school. And there's 2 things I want you to think about for back to school. One is back to school supplies. You need to start planning for that in July. It'd be great to get all of your back to school supplies in July instead of waiting for the mad rush in August. But school supplies are so expensive already, especially if you have more than 1 kid. I have 4 kids. We have a huge sinking fund for that. If you don't have a sinking fund for that, start building one for next year. But if you wait until your August monthly budget and put all of that in your August monthly budget, it's going to hit harder in August. If you can spread that out between July and August, that would be more helpful to your monthly budget. It's going to be less of a hit in July and less of a hit in August. So start planning out those back to school supplies. So the second thing that you need to budget for with back to school are the kids' checkups and physicals. If they're playing a fall sport or if it's their year to have a physical or vaccinations before they can return to school, you need to start planning that in July, not only for the financial aspect where you're going to have to pay co-pays, but also because those appointments fill up in August super fast. So get that done in July and start calling and making those appointments now so that you have time and the finances to get that done before school starts. Another thing specific to July is also the hottest month of the year. So your utility bills might go up because you're paying for extra air conditioning. If you water your lawn, you're going to be paying for extra water on your water bill to keep that grass green. There are just a bunch of extra little things that you are doing throughout the month of July that might increase your utility bills. So plan according to that, or get yourself on budget billing. I am a huge proponent of budget billing. In my area, we can do our electricity and our gas on budget billing. So we have those. So it's based on your previous year's usage. So you can get the same amount on your bill every single month. So your monthly budget is the same. It's so much easier to plan for. Now, at the end of your year cycle, if you used less, you'll get a prorated rate or you'll get a refund. If you used more, they're going to adjust that amount and you'll have to pay a little bit more. But since it was based on last year's usage, it can't be that much more. And then they'll adjust your bill for the next year so that you're still having the same amount taken out every month, but it will be according to that last year's usage again. So it's just so much easier to plan for. So go get yourself on budget billing. If you're not on budget billing, make sure you're planning ahead for the extra utility bill usage this month. Another thing for July are the extra outdoor activities. With the increased heat, you might be going to the pool more often. If you don't have a pool in your yard or a subdivision pool, maybe you're paying for a membership somewhere to go to the pool, or maybe you're going to a water park. You also may be hitting up amusement parks more because the kids are home. You're going to be doing these outdoor activities more often, so make sure you're building that into your budget. Look at your calendar and put those things in and plan accordingly for these outdoor activities. Maybe put a little extra in an activity fund just in case the kids get invited somewhere, or just in case you decide as a family to go out somewhere, that you can cover that and you don't have to say, no, I'm sorry, I didn't budget for that. Or you say yes, but then don't have the money, and then you're scrambling at the end of the month to figure out where that money is going to come from. So plan for extra for outdoor activities. The other thing I like to do when I do these monthly budget tips are things that I would like you to start planning ahead for. So we are halfway through the year now. It's really time to start thinking about those sinking funds. If you don't have a sinking fund yet for some end of the year things that are coming up, you need to start planning that now. There's one that's coming up, that's fall wedding season. We talked about this in the spring. You had your May wedding season, wedding. Now there's another wedding season coming up in the fall where you can start planning ahead. You might have some save the dates. You might not have those yet. You might not have the invitations yet, but start thinking through. Fall wedding season is coming, and that can be expensive with all the showers and the weddings and maybe the parties and things like that you need to plan ahead for. The other thing, big time sinking funds that you need are Christmas and personal property tax. Now those are coming, they're about 6 months out. You have about 6 months to save up for those, and those are big hits at the end of the year. And the reason that I really am hitting that hard and now is because especially Christmas is one that puts people in debt big time. You have 6 months to plan ahead. I wish you had a full year, but if you don't have those sinking funds, it is not too late. If you can start putting some money aside every single month from now until Christmas, you'll be in better shape. So start planning ahead for Christmas now. Think about who do you need to buy for Christmas and how much you want to spend for each person. Who are you buying for in the past that you really don't need to buy for? What can you do that's homemade, or have the kids make something for somebody? Think about how much you really need or want to spend on Christmas gifts. Break that up over the next 6 months and do your best to meet that goal every month for the next 6 months to get that Christmas sinking fund met. The other thing is personal property tax. You can look up online how much you spent for your personal property tax last year. Assume it's going to be about the same amount unless you've bought a new car or something. And even then you can sort of estimate it. Try and save up that amount, because December is going to, like I said this a little bit ago, December can hit hard and put people in debt. So whatever you can do now to start preparing for that, the better. So get yourself a sinking fund for Christmas, get yourself a sinking fund for personal property tax, and start planning ahead for fall wedding season. Those are a few July budget tips that will hopefully help you strengthen your monthly budget for July and planning for the future, hopefully strengthen your budget for the rest of this year going into next year. Start thinking about all of these sinking funds that you could be building. Make yourself a list and start putting money aside for all of these sinking funds. Get yourself ready to build that July monthly budget. Keep going. You've got this.